The Sky Sports News racehorse On Demand will make her debut at Salisbury tomorrow. The 2-year-old will be ridden by David Probert in Division 1 of the 7-furlong maiden filly stakes, which takes place at 2:40. 12 horses have been declared for the race, with 4 of them making their racecourse debuts, like our filly On Demand. It looks a decent race, though. She's likely to improve for the experience of the run, and you can see all the build-up to the race right here.
Most of the hard work as far as the fitness and the preparation is done already. The main concern in the last 48 hours has been whether the ground is going to be suitable. It's quite fast at the moment, but they have been putting a lot of water on. 8 millimetres is due to be applied again tomorrow to the track, which should maintain the ground as safe, good to firm ground, which would be fine for her.
Well, this is where she'll be running, Salisbury Racecourse, and that was the scene yesterday. The going at the moment is good to firm, which should be good, safe ground for the filly. We went to see how preparations were going there yesterday.
I spoke to Andrew briefly yesterday afternoon, and I think he's keen for the ground on the good side of good to firm. We've got to be careful that we don't overwater. There is a danger of that. There's no way that we would put too much water on to allow that to happen. So this amount just sort of keeps it nice. As you can see, there's a very good covering of grass. We're yet to mow this bit of the course here, which will be done this afternoon.
Yeah, all set fair. Fingers crossed for a good run. Now to yesterday's action, and the annual meeting at Laytown Strand took place in County Meath. It's the only race meeting to be run on a beach under the rules of the Turf Club. Well, it marked the 146th running of the event, which was first recorded in 1868. Once the tide goes out, the course is assembled, and it was close to the enclosures. The ground was riding pretty deep and slow, and that was reflected in the winning times. Enigma Code won the first. No stranger to this beach, actually comes here every morning because he's trained locally. Trainer Roger Charlton had a successful day at Leicester with 2 winners. The first of them came in the 1.5 mile handicap with Quest for More, who was sent off favourite. He was quite highly strung in the paddock beforehand. Here he is coming up the middle of the track, and afterwards Charlton said that he needs to behave better. He may suggest a gelding operation to his owner. It was a decent not to the owner, to the horse. It was a decent performance nonetheless, and after the race Charlton spoke about his stable star Al Kazim.
I think the foy is the next thing we look at, and then we decide if he runs, and then we decide how he runs, and then what he does after that. So it's still in the air.
And you've always been very much cautious this season of the ground issue with him, and is that just the case of it caught it with him at York? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I mean, he'd run 3 times on very fast ground, and he just, one time too many, really. And York was pretty quick. It's a flat track, whereas, Sandown, Ascot, you're finishing up a hill, which suits the horse better.
Yes, it seems Al Kazim then won't be running in Ireland this weekend, where he had an entry in the Irish Champion Stakes, but the ground is going to be fast at Leopardstown, hence the decision to run in France instead. Speaking of fast ground, it's firm at Bath ahead of their 7-race card. They kick off at 2 o'clock. It's been dry overnight, and just to explain, you saw the water being put on the track at Salisbury. Well, they don't have an artificial watering system at Bath, so the ground is as nature intended, so it's firm today. Sometimes it even gets quicker than that, but it's not too bad considering the summer we've had. Southall, they go jumping today, 7 races. It's a watered track there, and the ground is good. It's been dry overnight, and some top names in action there, including AP McCoy and Richard Johnson. Lingfield go at 2:20, 7 races. The turf course there is pretty quick as well, despite watering. It's good to firm in places. The all-weather is standard. And tonight's action gets underway at Gorham Park at 4:15 for a 7-race flat card, and they also go on the all-weather at Kempton at 5:30 for 8 races. Radiator, today's tip of the day in the 3:20 at Lingfield, and you'll be able to see how she fares today live on At the Races, because coverage from Bath, Southall, Lingfield and Gorham Park.